Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight for the first ever reading of my original play, End at the Hour. This play has been a labor of love for around a year now. I got the idea for it and I started working on it last summer, but I worked on it on and off, not very consistently. And there were many times where I felt discouraged because it seemed like it was going nowhere. And it wasn't really until quarantine happened when I really had the time to just sit down and devote all my time to this play that I decided to give it a shot. After reading the numerous biographies of the Romanov family, I realized how much of their story is left out of mainstream media. We seem to only hear about Anastasia and the myth surrounding her death, but before her death, she actually had a very interesting life, and she was a very interesting, complex person, as was her whole family. And then I read the letters of the girls, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia, and I absolutely knew that these women were, incredibly smart, beautiful, talented, caring, accomplished, and they deserved to be heard after they had been silenced for 100 years ago for so long. And reading their things, they were practically screaming to come off of a page and to be heard. So that's why I thought it was time to give them back their voices, and that's why we are here tonight. To hear them. So all the letters that you will be hearing in the transition scenes are the real words of the four daughters. And so before we begin, I'd like to give 1,000 thanks to my incredible cast. Your hard work and your talent has been mind-blowing, and it's made this little dream a reality, and it's crazy to me. And a big thank you to my family, who has been there every step of the way. Even on nights when I would thrust numerous scenes in their laps and I'd randomly stop a conversation to ask, does this work? How does this sound? Does this line sound good? And I'm sorry that once I got started on this topic of this play, I just never stopped talking about it. So one more thing before we start, we would love to have a talk back at the end of the show. So you can write questions, comments in the comment section for me and the actors. And right after we finish, we'd love to go through them and answer some of your questions. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy End at the Hour. Act 1, Scene 1. We open in a parlor room. It is inhabited by the Romanov family, the former Tsar of Russia, Nicholas, his wife, Alexandra, and their 5 children, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, Anastasia, and Alexei. They are all gathered together listening to Nicholas reading the novel War and Peace.
He raised the maid of honor's hand to his lips, kissed it, and swung it to and fro as he lay back in his armchair, looking in another direction.
Meanwhile, Anastasia, although listening, seems to be fidgeting.
Nastasia, please sit still. Your father is trying to read to us.
I'm sorry, Mama. I'm just feeling a little warm. Can I open the window?
May I read a section, Papa?
Of course, Tatiana. Come, pick up where I left off.
Nicholas makes room on the sofa for Tatiana. She joins him and he hands her the book. She continues the novel.
Attende, said Anna Pavlovna, reflecting. I'll speak to Lise, young Bolkonsky's wife, this very evening, and perhaps things can be arranged. It shall be on your family's behalf that I'll start my apprenticeship as an old maid. That's the end of the chapter.
While Tatiana was reading, a guard, the officer, has entered the room. He stands attentively by the door.
Don't stop there. Keep reading.
Please, Papa, can't I open the window? It feels like a furnace in here.
Anastasia, leave it.
I don't know, Maria. It's getting late.
Just read one more.
You said that about the last chapter.
They just keep getting better.
Olga, who has been laying down on the opposite sofa, now sits up and yawns a little.
Oh, I don't know if I can keep my eyes open any longer.
Look, if we don't head off to bed soon, Olga will sleep for 100 years, like Sleeping Beauty.
That's fine. I don't think she'd mind Officer Vovna coming to kiss her awake. Olga throws a decorative pillow to Alexei. The other girls giggle, and Alexandra and Nicholas shake their heads, smirking to themselves.
Alexei, Bud's Owen.
He's your knight in shining armor, isn't he?
Olga doesn't need a knight in shining armor. She's her own hero.
If anyone's a hero in this family, it's me. Alexei begins to imitate sword fighting. He leaps towards Maria and initiates a pretend battle. Maria stands and fights back.
That's it, mój maleńki soldat.
Alexei, please settle down.
Right now, when I'm about to win? Maria fakes a fatal stab to Alexei's ribs. He dramatically falls onto the sofa. You got me on an off day. If I wasn't so weak right now, I would have won in a second. While the others are enthralled with each other, Anastasia has been sneaking her way to the window. She starts to crack it open. The officer sees this and pulls out his gun. He shoots at the window.
What do you think you're doing? Back away from there.
Please, Sheebs, come by us.
I think that's enough for the night. Let's head off to bed now. Come, Alexei.
Alexandra helps Alexei stand and exits with him. The others exit as well. But Anastasia lingers behind. She steps in front of the officer.
Prisoners stay away from the window.
Anastasia starts to leave and then stops and sticks out her tongue at him behind his back. And then finally, she exits. The stage darkens, and then a spotlight is lit onto Olga. She's reading from a letter she has written.
Dear Aunt Victoria, thank you so much for your letter. I am so pleased that you are at last better and once again in Zarskow. As to how we spend our days here, you will surely have heard from Zillik. We go for a walk in the afternoons from 2 to 5. We each do something in the garden. Mama will also come out and lie on the couch under a tree. Papa will go out and saw up old dead tree trunks. Alexei will run around barefoot and swim in the lake sometime with the others. I do deeply miss working at the hospital. I heard you went there recently for a visit. Hopefully you have some word about the soldiers there. How is Officer Lebedev healed? Is his leg any better? I look forward to your correspondence. Your loving niece, Olga.
The stage resets to regular lighting. Olga backs up and enters the scene by sitting on a chair, and Maria enters after a few seconds.
Sasha just brought her bags to the car. Another one gone.
Olga motions for Maria to join her on the couch, and Maria does so.
It feels like each day the rooms get smaller and smaller. The people that have been here with us for 15, 20 years just up and leave like they never existed.
I know, but it is better this way. They're going home to their families.
But they were like family to us. I've known Sasha my whole life. She used to braid my hair before bed. She even taught me how to tie my shoes.
Well, we're not alone, Maria. You know that.
Yes, but it feels like it sometimes.
Anastasia enters the room, and she's carrying her dog, Jimmy.
Have either of you seen my marbles? The new shiny yellow ones? I've been looking for them everywhere.
Sorry, I haven't.
No.
Are you sure Jimmy didn't eat them?
He would never.
He holds him up to look at him.
He would never eat my marbles, right?
He chewed my slippers.
Alexei must have taken them. He was oogling them last night after dinner. I saw him. If he took them, well, he'll be sorry.
Do not be too rough on him, Sheebs. I don't know if he needs your wrath right now.
Well, it depends. If he took them, there will be reason for wrath. If not, well, I'm sure he deserves my wrath for some other reason.
Anastasia exits. Olga continues to play with Maria's hair and stops suddenly after touching her forehead.
You're a little warm, Maria. Are you feeling all right?
I think so.
You weren't working too much in the garden today?
No, I only watered the plants for an hour or so. I know you say it's for the best that everyone is leaving and going home, but it still feels strange. It seems like the only sounds left in here are the clocks ticking.
Don't forget Jimmy's barks.
That's true. He can be loud.
Don't tell Sheebs, though.
I wouldn't dream of it. She dotes on him like he's her baby.
Alexei enters the room. He's holding a small sack full of marbles. If Anastasia asks, I don't have her marbles. Blackout and scene 1. Scene 2. Tatiana now stands center stage with a single spotlight on her. She reads from a letter.
Dear Monsieur Gillard, I was glad to receive your letter. Unfortunately, I was unable to write until now. We all have suffered terribly from cases of the measles. Maria was struck first. She reached a temperature of 104 degrees. Next, I got sick, then Olga, then Anastasia and Alexei. We all have cut our hair to rid our scalps of the illness. Papa thought of it, and I know you would be very impressed. Maria is longing for her locks back, however. We are all doing much better, except Alexei now. He is still in bed, and he rarely sits up or speaks, which, you know, is very rare indeed. Mama is worried about him. I can tell. Without Father Grigori around now to heal him, I don't know how she will cope with Alexei's issues.
The scene is restored to regular lighting. Alexandra is sat at Alexei's bedside.
Holy Lord above, watch over Alexei. Help him to heal quickly. Wir bitten ihre Hilfe.
Nicholas enters the room.
We're being moved.
What do you mean?
I overheard Petrov speaking with some of his men. We're leaving Tobolsk soon.
Gott im Himmel. Could it be George? Has he finally sent for us?
I'm not sure, but I heard them discussing a long journey. Something about a train ride and then a quick and quiet dispersion.
It has to be George. He must have sent men over from England.
I thought he wrote recently and said he couldn't do anything right now.
He must have changed his mind, or he didn't want word getting out.
That could be.
But this is good news. We will, of course, need some time to pack and write to relatives to let them know George has finally given us asylum.
You must pack your bags tonight. We'll be leaving Tobolsk tomorrow.
What?
Tomorrow?
Yes. You will need to pack quickly and dress appropriate. It'll be cold.
No, there must be a mistake. We can't be moving so soon.
These are just the orders I was given and told to pass on to you.
My boy is still sick, can't you see? He is not up for traveling right now.
You are ordered to leave tomorrow, so you will. If you must leave the boy until he can travel, so be it. You have a plethora of daughters. One of them can stay with him. Or you stay with him and let the others go ahead until he can join. It is your choice.
You're asking me to either leave my child behind or let my husband go forward without me.
Those would seem to be your options.
The officer exits the room.
Never had I had to choose between my husband and my child.
It's okay, Alex. We'll make this work. Do not worry about me. Stay with Alexei, and I'll go ahead.
No. You're my husband. I made vows to stay by your side through everything, and I'll have the girl stay with him until he is better. Tatiana, especially, will nurse him well.
Mama?
You'll be fine, Alexei. Your sisters will take good care of you.
Maybe one of the girls should come with us. She can write to the others while we travel, and we can keep in touch. Let them know where we are.
Which one?
The lights fade out on Alexandra, Nicholas, and Alexei. They rise on Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia.
Try to make sure Mama lies down as much as she can.
I will.
She should have at least 2 cups of tea a day as well. And she should try to read the least amount of newspapers as possible. Papa, too. Hide them if you must.
Of course.
We will try our best to write to you whenever we can. Whoever isn't with Alexei can make time, I'm sure. And don't forget to give us word of where you're headed as soon as you can.
Tatiana, don't worry, I will. Just do your best to watch over Alexei. That's all you need to do right now. Do not worry about us. We'll be fine.
Can't remember the last time we were separated from each other.
Probably that time when Monsieur Gillard caught me sleeping and made me stay extra long in class.
Come now, Nastasia, be serious.
She's right, though. We haven't been apart in so long.
Will only be a few days, I'm sure. And anyway, Cousin George will have a boat ready wherever you end up.
I'm going to miss you all. I love you.
They all embrace in a group hug, and as they hug, Anastasia pipes up.
Look on the bright side. You'll get a break from Tatiana snoring for a few nights.
Blackout ends scene 2. Scene 3. The spotlight rises on Maria and she reads from her letter.
My darling brothers and sisters, you must be very sad to leave Tobolsk. I can still picture the cozy rooms and the garden. Mama, Papa, and I wait on the train right now with a few officers. We are expecting to cross the Russian border very soon, as we have been stopped for quite some time. I kiss you lovingly. Best wishes and a safe journey if you have not left already. Your Maria.
Maria heads into the scene. She's sitting with Alexandra. Nicholas reads while smoking on a chair opposite them. They are on the train. The officer enters with a young guard, Ivan.
Are we going to start moving again?
No, we're here.
Alexandra looks out the window and turns back to the men with confusion on her face.
Where are we?
Ekaterinburg.
Ekaterinburg.
What are we doing here?
This is where I was ordered to take you. There's a house a few miles from here with a small chapel across the street.
I'm just confused. I thought we were heading to the docks to sail to England.
England? You thought there was a chance of going there at a time like this?
We were under the impression that we had some...
What? That dear old King George across the pond would let you stay with him?
Well, excuse me, but there has been correspondence.
Not for months. Ekaterinburg is quiet, uninteresting. It's safe for now. Now, you two come with me. We're headed to the carriage. Help the girl with her bags.
The
Help
officer,
the girl with her bags.
Alexandra, and Nicholas exit, and Maria and Ivan are left, starting to gather the bags.
I'm sorry you're here in Ekaterinburg. I know you thought you were going to England.
Did you know we were coming here?
No, I knew nothing about the destination. I figured we were transporting you to English ships like you.
You must be glad we're here instead.
Not at all. I mean, I'd prefer you were heading there. I may not want the Tsar running the country, but that doesn't mean I agree that he and his family should be prisoners in the land he once ruled.
Then why would you help them hold us here?
It's about the greater good of Russia. Doing things to improve the future for the poor and the helpless. Those are the sacrifices that I make.
You tell yourself that. Is it true? You probably don't even know which daughter I am.
I'm sure we've spent enough time talking. We should head off to the carriage with the others.
He starts to walk off the train, but then stops and turns.
Princess Maria?
He winks and exits. Maria stands there for a second in slight shock, but then follows Ivan. Blackout, end of scene 3. Scene 4. Anastasia enters a spotlight and reads,
My dear friend, I will describe to you how we traveled. We started in the morning, and when we got on the train, I went to sleep. So did all of us. We were very tired because we did not sleep the whole night. The first day was hot and very dusty. At the stations, we had to shut our window curtains so no one should see us. Once in the evening, when I was looking out, we stopped near a little house. There was no station, so we could look out. A little boy came to my window and asked, Uncle, please give me, if you've got a newspaper. I said, I am not an uncle, but an auntie, and I have no newspaper. At first, I could not understand why he called me uncle, but then I remembered that my hair is cut, and I and the guards laughed very much. On the way, many funny things happened, and if I shall have time, I shall write to you our travels further on. Goodbye. Many kisses to you. Your A.
Anastasia enters the scene and is standing with Olga, Tatiana, and Alexei. They have just arrived to the House of Special Purpose, and they now reunite with the others. After a moment, Nicholas, Alexandra, and Maria enter.
My Lieblings! Come, let me hold you.
Alexandra embraces Olga, Tatiana, Anastasia, and Alexei.
Oh my goodness, how good it is to see you, my loves. Alexei, how do you feel?
Much better, Mama.
Are you sure? No aches, no fever, no pain?
No.
You took good care of him, Tatiana.
Of course I did, Mama. I never let him out of my sight.
Pam, you never let any of us out of your sight. I couldn't even use the bathroom without you lurking there.
I wouldn't call it lurking. When certain people have a history of breaking things, I'm not keen to let it happen under my watch.
Gosh, you break one vase and you're never trusted again.
3. And don't forget when you were 5 and shattered Nana's jewelry box.
I hope you were spending time on the train writing, my sheeps. Any new material that we can look forward to seeing performed soon?
Don't worry, I've got a lot up my sleeve. If I wasn't eating or sleeping, I was writing. This newest show will be my best for sure.
Everyone starts to pick up their things and prepare to head inside, and then Olga speaks up.
Why Ekaterinburg?
What was that, dear?
We're in Ekaterinburg. Why?
I could ask the same. I'm not quite sure, but we're here now.
I thought George was bringing us over to London. So he just made a promise and then didn't intend to keep it?
Olga.
It's all right. I don't know, Olga. I wish I could tell you, but I just don't know.
Come inside, children. There's some warm tea waiting for you.
Everyone turns and exits. Olga takes her time and is the last to enter the house. Now we are inside the house. The girls have been unpacking their things, and Maria is helping.
I can't believe I let you talk me into doing another play.
I can. I'm a very persuasive person. We'll be sure to start rehearsing as soon as we're settled.
Yes, and that won't happen with you moving at a snail's pace. Come on, there's a lot to put away.
Whatever you say, governess.
Alexandra enters the room.
Girls, were you able to finish what I asked? Is the medicine taken care of?
Yes, we made sure we got everything on the list and sewed it into our corsets.
Good. You took Nana's ruby necklace and Aunt Irene's emerald tiara?
Yes, we made sure we double-stitched on theirs. They're in my flips.
I'm sorry, am I missing something? Medicine? Jewelry sewn into underwear?
Yep, Mama's orders. It was a top secret mission. Medicine was our code word.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't lose any important family heirlooms. This way, they're safe and hidden from prying eyes, but they could be useful in case we move again. Having them on hand will be very crucial. Thank you, girlies. I'm proud of you.
I sewed some into an extra stay for you to have, Maria.
She hands it to Maria.
Now, excuse me. I'm going to check on your brother.
Alexandra starts to exit, and on the way out, she runs into Ivan.
Oh, good. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Alexandra exits. Ivan sees all the girls and is slightly overwhelmed.
Excuse me, ladies. I'm Officer Skrokodov, but Ivan will do. I
He focuses his attention on Maria and heads towards her.
You dropped this glove while planting yesterday. I figured you needed to finish.
Maria timidly accepts the glove from Ivan.
Thank you.
Ivan notices the copy of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte that is in Maria's hands.
Jane Eyre? Great choice. My brother likes to poke fun because it's one of my favorites, but the mystery, the tension, the romance, I mean, it's great.
I couldn't agree more.
Ivan just stands there for a moment and then turns, realizing that the other girls have been watching him.
I have to go, but I'll see you all later.
Ivan exits.
What was that?
What was what?
The way he was looking at you,
What do you mean?
he seemed like he was staring deep into your soul.
Jeeves, you are seeing things.
He's an odd one.
Aw, no. He's sweet.
Does he do that often?
Do what?
Talk to you? Or try to comprehend sentences around you, I should say?
I don't know. We talk sometimes. He's always posted in the garden when I'm out there, so I see him a lot. We started talking more when he heard Papa and I reading War and Peace together.
I don't know if it's a good thing to get close with him.
Why? I think Olga's right. He's sweet.
Maybe, but he's still an officer. He's here to watch us. He's our captor.
Right. A skinny, quiet red can do so much.
I'm serious. You can never be so sure.
Olga and Tatiana finish up their unpacking and exit the room. Anastasia is heading out as well, but Maria pulls her aside.
When you said looking into my soul, is that a good thing?
Depends. To me, it looked like when Papa looks at Mama, or Alexei when he sees pudding on the dessert table.
She shrugs and exits. Maria stands still for a second, pondering, and then she exits after Anastasia. Blackout and scene. Scene 5. A spotlight shines on Tatiana as she reads her letter.
My dear Rita, thank you very much for your long, nice letter, which we have only just received. It is terrible how long it took to reach us. Still, I was very glad to see it. Our hair has grown. It is as long as in the picture after I got typhus. With the ribbon in it, do you remember? It grows much quicker now, I think because we had our heads shaved twice and we did not wear wigs, so it was much more comfortable. I pity poor Filatov that he is not feeling well. He was at the hospital when we were still there. Can it be the same wound that bothers him, or is it something else? In general, everything seems all right. But the truth? I'm so hurt and sad about what they are all doing to our native land. But there is one hope, that God will not leave us. And he will teach those madmen. Well, anyway, here we live as before. They built a small hill on level with fence, and it is obvious when we stand on it that we are seen, and it is apparently not pleasant for the soldiers. Likely, we will soon be forbidden to go for a drive. I wish I could see the ocean, even with one eye. We often think of all of you, give our best regards to ND. I hope his health has improved. Did you see Rodionova? Did she make it to her operation? Very best wishes, your Tatiana. P.S. A few days ago, a year has passed since we listened to music with them at night by the fireside. Do you remember? It was nice.
The spotlight dims. Tatiana makes her way to a desk, writing at it, and after a moment, Olga enters.
What are you up to?
Just writing to Valentina from the hospital. I just finished writing to Rita as well. I'd like to hear about how the men in our ward are doing.
Have you gotten any replies?
Some. Rita says that Private Popov, you remember Popov, the one whose right leg we amputated? She says he's gone home and is doing much better. I haven't heard about Private Novikov, though.
What about Dmitri? Dmitri? Dmitri Malama. Any word from him?
Oh, no, nothing from him.
Surprised. He wrote back to you in Tobolsk, didn't he?
Yes, but now he's been made a captain. He probably doesn't have the time to write.
Well, I'm sure he has the time to write to you. Did you forward our new address to him?
I meant to, but I don't think I have.
Why not?
I suppose it just slipped my mind, that's all.
Fine. Then do it now.
What?
Forward our address to him now. There's no time like the present.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No!
Has something happened? Did you two get into an argument? I can't imagine you not wanting to hear from him.
I just know he has a lot on his plate at the moment. He doesn't need to be bothered with having to reply to me.
It's not a bother to write back to the one you love, Tatiana. You can't just shut him out. I know how much you love each other.
That's just the thing. I have to. I have to cut him off. It's for his best interest.
Why?
We've only been in Ekaterinburg a short while, but you sense a difference, I'm sure. It's quieter here. The guards are more attentive. I don't think they'd hesitate to read our letters. If they were to read our letters and learn about our relationship, if they were to do something to him, I would never be able to live with myself knowing it was because of me.
Olga stands and walks to Tatiana. She starts to caress her hair.
Oh, Tatiana.
Tatiana reaches her hand up to Olga and holds it and squeezes it. She shows Olga a small, sad smile, but aside from that, she shows no sadness. She's good at keeping it all inside.
It's all right. I know I'm doing what's best for him. He'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Alexei enters the room.
Tatiana, I need help.
What is it?
Jimmy has one of my wooden soldiers in his mouth and he won't drop it.
Don't worry, I'm coming.
Can it wait a moment, Alexei? Tatiana was just...
No, it's all right. I'm coming.
Alexei and Tatiana exit. Olga contemplates while looking after them. Blackout, end scene. Scene 6. Anastasia enters the spotlight.
My darling, sweet Aunt Zinnia, thanks heaps for the postcard. As you must know, we were relocated to Ekaterinburg. For now, we are, thanks be to God, alive and in good health. We are always glad to hear news from you. We often reminisce and talk about you all. I thank you again for Jimmy. He is always at my heel and is very kind. We now spend our times looking out our windows at the people passing, and this gives us distraction. I also have begun to put on plays again, and that puts everyone in a higher spirit, for the time being at least. I tried to do my best to make sure they are all comedies and keep all of us laughing.
Anastasia leaves her spotlight and re-enters the scene. It is now the day of the performance, the one that Anastasia has been planning meticulously. She's giving her final directions to Alexei and Maria. They each have a script in hand.
Why can't I be the king?
Because you're shorter than Maria. It won't look right to have the king shorter than his servant.
But I'm a boy. Maria's a girl.
Maria makes a more convincing boy than you ever will.
She does not. Her breasts are too big.
Alexei!
Fine, maybe you look more like a boy, but she acts like a king better than you ever could.
I have had my real throne taken away from me. You can't take this one from me too.
There's a beat of silence. Then Alexei throws his script to the ground and exits. Alexandra enters the room.
What was that?
Alexei wasn't adhering to my artistic vision.
Anastasia? He is a boy. Let him play how he wants.
I will not give up on the integrity of my show.
Anastasia!
Alexandra is interrupted by the door opening, and Nicholas, Olga, Tatiana, holding Jimmy, the officer, and Ivan enter. When Alexandra sees this, she simply shrugs and sits with the others.
Why are the officers here?
I invited them.
Why?
We needed a sold-out audience. Also, Mama said we can't all be alone in one room. They're scared we'll plot something together.
Of course, the one time I play an old man.
Quiet! We must begin.
Anastasia enters her center stage and begins reading from a note card.
Ladies and gentlemen and four-legged friends, we thank you this evening for joining us in our production of The Emperor's New Clothes. We guarantee a wonderful performance with our own Maria as the king himself. I myself will portray the mischievous and cunning weaver with our own Alexei as the townsperson. Now, without further ado, we shall begin.
Anastasia exits the center and goes off into the wings of their stage.
Maria, you're on.
Maria timidly walks on stage. She searches the audience and makes direct eye contact with Ivan. She is humiliated, but she continues.
Here I am, the most luxurious king there ever was. It is time for me to pick my coat for the day.
Alexei runs on with a jacket.
Huzzah! My dresser. What do you have to show me?
Is this to your liking, Your Majesty?
No, all wrong. I can surely top that, can't I?
Your Majesty, this is the only coat you have not worn yet.
Are you certain? There must be something we can do.
Anastasia makes her grand entrance. It is obvious that out of the three of them, she has the best stage presence.
Do not worry, Your Majesty. I have a solution.
Who are you?
Me! I am but a mere peasant in your village. I am a weaver for my profession. I am here to present to you the most expensive, glorious clothes you will ever see. No other monarch has come close to wearing clothes like this.
Our attention shifts from the play within the play and moves to the officer. He stands to answer the telephone that has run on a nearby table. The play still happens silently in the background.
Hello? Yes. We've been told to prepare, but got no confirmation. All right then, thank you. Yes, I shall prepare for your arrival, sir. Nothing so far. They've been behaving. Very good. Goodbye.
The officer hangs up and returns to the audience. The play resumes. Anastasia, Maria, and Alexei join hands and bow while the audience claps for them. After a moment, everyone stands and gathers in groups and pairs to talk. Ivan comes up to Maria.
Brava! A wonderful performance.
Oh, thank you. It's nothing really, just something we've always done for fun. Anastasia has a vision and gets her hands on whoever she can.
Well, you have a great talent. You could easily be an actress. I could see you on the silver screen in Hollywood.
Really? You think so?
Well, absolutely.
The two of them stand there awkwardly for a moment. It's obvious they want to say more, but they are holding back.
I overheard that it's your birthday in a few days.
Yes. 3 days to be exact. I'll be 19.
Well, let me be the first to say an early happy birthday.
He gives a small bow.
Thank you.
Anastasia interrupts them, totally oblivious to the moment. She doesn't see Ivan. She just heads straight into Maria's face.
Maria, I need to give you some notes on your performance.
Nastasia, please, can't this wait?
Absolutely not. We begin rehearsals for our next production tomorrow, and I can't sleep well knowing my lead actress's diction is atrocious.
Fine, I'll come in a moment.
Good.
She turns and now just notices Ivan.
Hi, Ivan.
Hello, brilliant director. I was just telling your sister how much I enjoyed the performance. Certainly the best I've seen in a while.
You hear that? Brilliant. He knows what he's talking about. Just you wait. There's more where that came from. Now come, Maria. We must work on your tongue twisters to loosen your palate.
Anastasia grabs Maria's arm and drags her away. Maria looks to Ivan with a shrug and an apologetic look. Ivan returns it with a small chuckle and a look of endearment. End scene 6. Scene 7. The spotlight rises on Olga.
My darling, dear godmother, I am terribly touched by your sweet letter and heartfelt words. I wanted to have a heart-to-heart with you way back in Kiev, but there wasn't the opportunity. Mama is terribly bored. We can't get used to the circumstances here. But for now, we are all together. A kiss to you and Mattia. Love you sincerely and with all my heart. Your loving goddaughter, Olga.
The stage resets. Alexandra is sitting with a telegram in her hand, and Nicholas enters.
I heard you asked for me. What were you saying, my love? A new telegram?
Oh, not so new. I got it right before we left for Tobolsk. But I haven't been able to show you, Lord knows, with all these vultures surrounding us.
Well, what is it? Who is it from?
My sister, Victoria, she's had contact with General Kolchak's nephew.
Nephew of General Kolchak. What does he say?
He says that his uncle's men have been making their way inland from the North Sea, but the inner lake is still frozen over. They can't get into Russia.
I see.
But that's not all. Soon they'll have access to a few airplanes. He says that will bring them in.
And once they're in Ekaterinburg, what is their plan then?
To storm in. Storm right in. They come in from the air, which the Reds will never suspect, and then once they swoop on the estate
No, no, no. I won't allow it.
What are you talking about?
I can't. I won't let any bloodshed happen on account of me.
Nick.
I've already caused enough.
Nick, this is our chance. This is our way out.
Well, they'll just have to come up with something else.
I feel awful every day knowing that our window to leave Russia closed once our children got sick. The measles went around, and then that was that. Our chance to get out disappeared. But a new one has appeared now, and these men are willing to put their lives on the line for us.
Well, that's nice for them, but I can't let them do that. Do you know what I dream of every night? It's the same thing. Every night I'm approached by an advisor who tells me that 200 civilians perished in St. Petersburg because I wasn't there to sign their petition. He tells me that the army opened fire once the group wouldn't turn around, and I feel myself begin to convulse and sweat, and I want to do something. I want to tell him, no, bring them back. Give me the petition. I'll sign it now. But I can't. My mouth doesn't open. And what makes it worse is that when I wake up, I remember it was real. Except in real life, instead of doing anything, I turned a blind eye. I was a coward. I let it happen. I took advantage of the working class, and that's what's landed me here. So in a way, maybe I shouldn't be saved.
Don't talk like that. You don't mean it, surely.
We shall, but I do.
And what about us then, huh? Your wife and children will pay the price because you don't want any more blood on your hands?
Nicholas approaches Alexandra and holds her arms.
Absolutely not. If anything were to happen, you and the children will be fine. I'm sure of it.
You really believe that?
With all my being. I've abdicated for myself and Alexei. They want to bring me to court? What could they possibly want with the rest of you?
Alexandra looks unsure, but Nicholas brings her in for an embrace and kisses her. They are interrupted when the officer enters the room with the children behind him.
Stay here. I'll be right back.
Appa?
I'm not sure, my sheeps. He didn't say anything to us.
The officer re-enters the room, and behind him walks in Yurovsky. Yurovsky is quite intimidating, but not in the traditional way. He's not that tall or built, like you'd expect of a terrifying soldier, but it is his attitude. What makes him unnerving is the fact that he looks like he could be your kind next-door neighbor, except he bears a Bolshevik uniform.
Citizen Romanov, good day. I hope I find you and your family well.
Yurovsky puts out his hand towards Nicholas to shake. The rest of the family watches to see what Nicholas will do, and after a moment he shakes back.
Hello. I realize I should probably introduce myself, yes? Makes no sense to shake a man's hand whom you don't even know his name. I am Yakov Yorovsky, a member of the Bolsheviks. I've been put in charge of watching over you all. The last man before me, he was promoted to a higher position. But I will do my best to make sure that you are much more comfortable in the Katerinburg than you were in your last living space. For one thing, furniture in here, can you believe it? Not fit for a rat to rest on, let alone a royal family. And the dust in here. Oh. We will have to open the windows to air it out. And I'll be sure to employ some local village girls to come in and clean it up.
He walks towards Alexei.
Hello there, young man. Alexei, is it?
Yes, sir.
What a fine young man you are, shaping up to look like a soldier. What do you do here for fun?
Well, I do different things. Play cards, read, draw, play music with my sister.
Good, 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 nice, yes. But a growing boy must exercise physically as well as mentally. Very important. See that this young man has a set of rackets and maybe a sled as well. There may not be snow in June, but you can still go down the big hill out in the yard.
Yes, sir.
Wow, thank you, sir.
That is kind of you, but Alexei
And these
really.
daughters of yours, oh, each of them is a beauty.
He walks past Anastasia and sees her drawings on the mantel and tables, and then he sees the one in her hand.
And such talent in the arts. I think some new paintbrushes would do good, hmm?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Yavraski.
Sir, my dear, sir.
Sir Yavraski.
I shall see that this house is kept in better shape. You all clearly should have more to do than sit around all day growing pale.
Excuse me, Sir Yurovsky. Are there any books that we can have? All of the ones here are torn or damaged from the rainwater, and the ones I brought, well, I've read them 3 times already.
Not a problem at all.
Yurovsky walks towards Olga.
What about you, my dear? What can I do to make you more comfortable?
Nothing right now, thank you.
Really? There must be something. All women lust after some kind of possession.
Thank you, but I'm quite sure I'm content right now.
You are quite sure.
Olga nods.
Fine then. If you change your mind, just let me know.
Pardon me, but I have one small request.
Name it, madame.
It's the chapel down the street. We've been told we can no longer go there since there was too much commotion and spying from the villagers on Easter. But I don't suppose we could.
Unfortunately, that is a request I cannot grant.
Oh.
Yes, well, with all the curiosity of the citizens outside and the bases that my men have set up very close by, it's safer for everyone if you did not make any trips outside of the estate. Understood? Good. I hope we can have a pleasant relationship during my time here. I go back and forth between the countryside and the city, so I cannot guarantee I will be here as frequently as I wish. Now, please go back to whatever you are doing. I shall just inspect the house and be on my way.
Everyone curtsies, bows, says their goodbyes, and exits, except for Yurovsky and the officer.
How long have you been set up here?
Just under 2 months, sir.
I have no recent messages from Lenin. Have they come here instead?
No, sir. We've written to him to tell you we've moved and that you were on your way, but we have heard nothing back.
All right. I will continue to wait for his response. Tell me if you receive anything as well.
Yes, sir.
I suspect it won't be too long until we're given specific orders. Until then, we will keep order and a calm environment here.
Yes, sir.
Yurovsky nods, and the two of them exit. Blackout, end of scene. Scene 8. Maria enters the spotlight to read her letter.
My dear aunt, we miss the quiet and peaceful life in Tobolsk. Here there are almost daily unpleasant surprises. The committee asked each of us how much money we have on us because they know that Papa and Mama don't have a dime with them since the new Gardurovsky has come. They warn that we are not guaranteed from new searches. Who would have thought that after 14 months of imprisonment, they treat us like this? We hope that yours is better, as was the case with us. Lovingly, your niece, Maria.
It's now almost midnight and everyone in the house is asleep. Maria stands from her bed when she hears a knock at the door. She opens the door to reveal Ivan. He stands there bashfully.
Careful, we don't want to wake her.
She motions to Anastasia sleeping behind her.
Of course, right.
What are you doing? Is something wrong?
No. It's just, it's past midnight now. It's June 26th, your birthday.
Oh, you're right.
Can I show you something?
Sure.
Ivan starts to leave and grabs Maria's hand.
What are you doing? I can't go with you. If anyone sees us, we'll be in trouble.
Don't worry about that. I made a perimeter of the whole estate. 3 of the guards left for the night, and the only 2 left shouldn't be a problem.
How do you know that?
They're in the basement. They were gambling for a while, but now they were so drunk that they passed out.
All right, then, where to?
Ivan smiles. They leave the bedroom and quietly close the door. The lights fade, and then the lights are up on the pair's destination. They are in the kitchen.
The kitchen? Are we doing dishes together?
No. Something much better. Close your eyes.
Maria eyes Ivan and teases him by crossing her arms.
Please.
Maria gives in and closes her eyes. Ivan shuffles around behind her, and finally he puts a tin on the table in front of her.
Open.
Maria opens her eyes and looks at the tin. She seems puzzled.
What is this?
Maria is cut off by Ivan lifting the tin. What is revealed is a small birthday cake. There is one candle in the middle unlit. Maria is immensely touched. She stares at the cake for a moment and then turns to Ivan. He is beaming.
Ta-da!
Boy, Chamois, you got me a birthday cake?
Yep. No birthday celebration is complete without one, and I knew that the one you'll be getting tomorrow, today, will have to share with others, so I wanted to get you one all to yourself. Plus, who knows how the cooks will taste? It could be too dry, too full of rum. This one is nice and spongy and moist, and my mother's recipe.
You made this?
Ivan nods.
Oh, Ivan, thank you. I can't remember the last time I had a birthday cake.
Ivan is fumbling for his box of matches in his pocket.
Let's light it then, shall we?
Ivan takes a match from the box and lights it. Next, he bends over towards the table from behind Maria. He and Maria are now closer than they've ever been before, and for a moment, they are lost in time. They stare into each other's eyes, and for this small moment, they are alone in the world. Ivan lights the candle and then puts out his match. However, all this time, he's still close to Maria's neck. Their breathing can be felt by the audience.
Time for the wish.
Maria breathes in, then closes her eyes, thinks for a second, and then blows out the candle.
What'd you wish for?
This.
Maria leans in even closer until eventually her and Ivan kiss. It is innocent but still loving. They part for a second. Ivan looks at her, goes onto his knees, caresses her cheek, and they kiss again. Suddenly, Tatiana walks in. Ivan and Maria jump apart and stand.
Tatiana.
The 3 of them stand there, not knowing what to say.
I was on my way to use the bathroom and I thought I heard voices.
No, we didn't mean any,
Don't.
We are unsure of what Tatiana will do now. Will she betray the 2 lovers and turn them in? Even Tatiana herself doesn't know. But then she decides. This is her baby sister. It's her first moment of happiness in a long time.
Good night.
Tatiana exits. Maria and Ivan let out their breath. They turn to face each other. Ivan holds Maria's hands, and then he gingerly kisses her forehead. Blackout, end of scene. Scene 9. Olga stands in her spotlight and reads her letter.
I wish you good health, dear old Pyotr Vasilevich. I am very grateful to you for a long, good letter. Of course, we are all healthy. We walk a lot. We live in general as before, just don't go to church anymore. We are just damsels at home. Now I don't read anything special. I love Chekhov very much, learning by heart the joke of his bear. I apologize for the handwriting and disgusting paper. Absolutely nothing has happened. But in general, it would be possible to tell a lot of interesting and funny things on occasion. Quite a lot has accumulated over the whole year. We all learn different funny plays and perform on Sundays. I apologize for the awkward letter, but I always, when I write, thoughts jump from subject to subject. God bless you, your Olga. We bow to everyone who remembers.
Olga and Anastasia are now sitting on a couch reading when Alexandra frantically enters.
Olga, Anastasia, come with me, quickly.
What is it?
Alexei, he fell off his sled. I knew he shouldn't have been sliding down the hill.
Olga and Anastasia exit and they come back in carrying Alexei. He's in immense pain and is whimpering. They place him down on the couch.
Where does it hurt, my love?
Alexei silently shakes his head, but then he decides to reveal the area of his discomfort. Embarrassingly, he gestures towards his crotch.
Oh, God de mime. If only Father Grigory was here.
Anastasia, go fetch some water and blankets.
Anastasia exits.
I knew something awful would happen without Father Grigory. He was keeping Alexei well. How will he heal now?
Mama, I don't think worrying will help us right now.
Yes, but Olga, I knew this would happen. Without Father Grigory, we have no guidance.
I know, Mama, but we will do our best.
Our best must not be enough right now. Goodness, where is Tatiana when I need her? I need your sister.
Tatiana's busy right now, Mama. She's helping Papa bring in firewood from the backwoods, but I am here.
Bitte air. He will die. Grigory is dead. Alexei is hurt.
Mama, we can't speak of such ill things right now. Father Grigory is not here, that is true, but we are Alexei's family. We know him better than anyone else. I promise you he will be fine, but we need to remain calm.
Well then, I must sit by him and pray. If you don't mind.
Olga offers her seat and Alexandra sits down. She grabs Alexei's hand and shushes him. She now starts to whisper prayers to herself with her eyes closed. Anastasia re-enters with a bucket and blankets. She sets them down next to the couch and stands next to Olga. Olga brings her out into the hall.
Whenever Alexei gets hurt, Mama does too.
I know.
She probably hurts more than he does.
No one hurts more than that poor boy. She's not in the room. You don't have to take her side, you know.
Olga, why would you say?
Because she makes it worse. She makes everything worse.
Mama is only worried. She loves Alexei so much that if something were to happen...
And it's her fault he's like this in the first place.
Olga!
It's true. We have tainted blood. And whenever there has been a chance to make it better, Mama has always taken the worst route. Alexei was born tainted, so she hides it from the world. He can't grow up like a normal boy because Mama is always behind him, waiting for him to slip up. Then she brings that awful Father Grigory into our lives. It ruins everything.
Father Grigory helped Alexei a lot.
Are you blind, Anastasia? Father Grigory was the final nail in the coffin for us. We are where we are now because of every mistake Mama and Papa made for us. I look around and I realize how blind we all truly have been. I've never truly seen the world, and I never will. For my whole life, I have just been in different prisons, the Alexander Palace in Tobolsk, here in Ekaterinburg. It doesn't matter where we go. Each place is just a different jail cell. I have been shrouded from the truth for all of my 22 years of living. I could have been helping. I could have been making a difference.
You have, Olga. You are an amazing nurse to hundreds of Russian soldiers who need you.
And look at what Russia has done as a thanks. She has turned her back on us. All this time I could have been helping, could have been doing something, but Mama and Papa just have been hiding everything from us. What am I doing? I shouldn't be saying this to you. I don't need to worry you any more than you already are. You're just a kid.
You seem to be forgetting, Olga. I'm 16, old enough to enter society and even to be married.
Yes, that you are.
A beat of silence between them, and then a new side to Anastasia emerges. A profound one that has been budding inside of her and now comes out.
I know you're not feeling like yourself lately. I can tell. I can see it. I can hear it. You sound like Mama when she's not feeling like herself. She says grayness covers her like a cloud. But I know you, Olga. You're not gray. You're full of color. I think a rainbow lives inside of you, different colors peeking out of you at different times of the day, depending on your moods and thoughts.
Anastasia reaches into her pocket and gives Olga a hanky.
I miss the color, but I know it can come back. Rainbows come out after the rain.
Blackout, end of scene. Scene 10. Maria steps up into the spotlight for her letter.
Hello, my dear. I hope you are well. To pass the time recently, we have been performing French and English plays. I have performed the male roles. It is so very easy now that I have short hair. Previously, we were allowed to go to church on holidays, but it was later decided that we could not. They let us have service at home, though. It takes place in the hall. It's comfortable, and we organized it like a church with icons, but it's not so nice as the church. With sadness, we remember the Feodorovsky Cathedral. That place always put me in a marvelous mood. Time flies by with horrible quickness. It has been over a year since we saw our friends. Well, it's nothing. God will grant us to meet again. Love, Maria.
The officer and Ivan are together. The officer is laying back in his chair smoking while Ivan is writing documents.
You were slacking today.
I'm sorry.
They get an hour outside every day. You came in after an hour and 15.
Oh, well, time must have gotten away from me. I was having them stack wood all day in the back of the estate. I just wanted to finish before we came in.
I see. You're sure it has nothing to do with the little friendship you seem to have developed with them?
No, of course not.
Because we can't afford to have you going all soft on them now.
I'm not being soft. I'm just treating them like human beings, which is more than those other guards can say. They practically spit in their faces every time they walk by.
Who can blame them?
The Tsar was an incompetent ruler.
We agree on that.
But his family is innocent.
Innocent? You see that woman out there? That empress? She's far from innocent. Took too much advice from a dirty, slimy perv. Practically was running the country on that advice while the idiot Tsar was on the battlefield.
The Rasputin was a gross old man, but he was still a healer.
Yeah, he had about as much mystic power as I have in my ass.
The Tsar and the Empress, fine. But the children are innocent. They don't deserve to be caught up in all this. Frankly, I don't even know why they're here. I can at least treat them with decency until they leave.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Nicholas's spirit drains more and more seeing the chaos he's dragged his family into.
They're just here so you can use them to torture their father?
They're Russian royalty, former owners of the biggest throne in the world. We have to keep an eye on them. Can't let things go back to how they were.
They've abdicated the throne for the entire family. They have no title here. What else are they good for?
Yes, they've abdicated, but we can't have any of that reversing if any whites get their hands on them.
So we're holding them here so they can't reclaim the throne that they don't even want.
You don't know that. An aristocratic life? That's all they know. They'd go back in a second if they had the chance. If that wasn't a threat, I wouldn't have the damn kids here. But seeing it eat away at their dear old dad is just a perk.
That's pretty sick.
Yurovsky enters the room unannounced. Ivan and the officer whip around when he speaks.
You think so? Then why are you still here?
Sir, I thought you weren't due back for another week. I would have had...
Things are running ahead of schedule.
Yurovsky gets unnervingly close to Ivan.
You still haven't answered me, boy. Why are you still here?
I...
You're not straying from the cause, are you?
No, I'm not, sir.
No. You want what's best for Russia. I can see that. Unfortunately, it does not line up with what we need.
Sir?
You have softened on them. I can tell. Probably even crushing on one of the girls, I bet. I can't blame you. You are a very arousing indeed.
Ivan grows visibly disgusted, but he is at a loss for words.
But still, we can't have anyone from your station getting too tight-knit with them. So, you are relieved of your position.
Sir?
You heard me? You can pack your bags. You're leaving tonight.
Ivan is dumbfounded and shocked. He's quietly shaking.
Be lucky I'm being this generous, boy. I could throw you in a cell for conspiracy. Get out while you can. Like I said, pack now.
Ivan walks towards the door, but Yurovsky stops him.
And son, don't even think about saying goodbye.
Blackout, end of scene. Scene 11. The spotlight on Anastasia for her letter.
Hello, my dear. It was good to hear from you. Not much to add on my end. Friends write to us, but many letters don't reach us. We remember the old days, like visiting the hospital. Do you remember Lukyanov? His visiting card was in my album, but unfortunately, that album was left behind at Zarsko. On the writing desk are many pictures. We often reminisce about visits, evening chats on the telephone, and everything. Everything.
Anastasia, Maria, Tatiana, and Alexei are together in the parlor. Anastasia and Alexei are drawing, while Tatiana and Maria are reading.
Tatiana?
Yes?
I wanted to thank you for what you did on my birthday. I've been wanting to thank you for a while, but I didn't know what to say. Thank you for not saying anything. I wish I could fully repay you.
You don't have to do anything.
No, I want to.
Really, Maria, you don't have to. There's no reason to thank me. It was the only thing to do.
I've done the best I could think of.
She reaches inside of her pocket and holds out a letter.
Olga told me you never told Dmitry Malama that we moved to Ekaterinburg, so I took the liberty to do so. Of course, he wrote back.
Maria, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
There's no reason to thank me. It's the only thing I could have done.
Tatiana does something completely out of the norm for her. He slowly but surely brings Maria into a hug. Maria hugs back lovingly. Nicholas enters the room with War and Peace in his hands.
Children, who's feeling up to finishing War and Peace tonight? We're right at the end.
Oh, yes.
Tatiana, go fetch your mother and Olga.
Tatiana exits. Nicholas situates himself on the couch. Maria, Anastasia, and Alexei situate themselves as well. And then Tatiana re-enters, followed by Alexandra and Olga.
We're all here? Good. I will begin. As with astronomy, the difficulty of recognizing the motion of the Earth lay in abandoning the immediate sensation of the Earth's fixity and of the motion of the planets. So in history, the difficulty of recognizing the subjugation of personality to the laws of space, time, and cause lies in renouncing the direct feeling of the independence of one's own personality.
Everyone is listening very intently. Anastasia sees Olga standing around not quite knowing where to go, so she offers Olga her hand, bringing her closer to her arms.
Tatiana, want to take over?
But as in astronomy, the new view said, it is true that we do not feel the movement of the earth, but by admitting its immobility, we arrive at absurdity, while by admitting its motion, which we do not feel, we arrive at laws.
Tatiana goes to turn the page, and when she does, a photograph falls out.
Oh!
What do you have there?
Some kind of picture. Looks like one of us as a baby.
Let me see. I'm sure I can tell who it is. Oh, that's you, Tatiana. I'm sure of it.
Nicholas hands the photo to Alexandra.
Oh, no. The hair is much too curly to be Tatiana's. That's Olga.
What's baby Olga doing in War and Peace?
Not just her. I think I had a few of my favorite pictures in there, somewhere where no one could find them, and get rid of them. Turn some more. There should be more in there.
Tatiana turns the pages, and more photographs fall out.
I remember this one. I spent the whole day brushing and fixing the girl's hair, and then we had to sit still for ages to get the shot for your Nana. I was so miserable that day. I was feeling sick from Nastasia in my stomach. Of course, I didn't know she was in there quite yet.
Yeah, girls in their frilly socks, but where's one of me?
Maria finds one and hands it to him.
Here.
I'm bald.
You were only a month old or so. But look at how well you hold your head there. So strong.
I guess.
The group passes around the few photos and laughs and smiles at them. Olga seems to be keeping to herself, but can't help to let out a small smirk here and there. And after a minute, Tatiana speaks up.
Should I keep going with the story? There's not much left.
Yes, continue, my dear.
So also in history, the new view says, it is true that we are not conscious of our dependence, but by admitting our free will, we arrive at absurdity. While by admitting our dependence on the external world, on time and on cause, we arrive at laws. In the present case, it is similarly necessary to renounce a freedom that does not exist and to recognize a dependence of which we are not conscious. That's the end.
The end. That's it.
Thank goodness. That took about a bazillion years. I thought I would turn into an old hag before it was done.
But look, my sheaves, you can say you finished War and Peace, a difficult and accomplishing feat.
There's one more photo.
He hands the last picture to Nicholas.
Ah. Now this one will always be my favorite.
This one? Really?
Of course.
That's funny. Your favorite one of us is playing on board the Standard? Not one of the thousands of the court pictures?
That's specifically why it's my favorite. No extravagance or fluff, just all of you playing.
Playing nicely, might I add. One of the few times where all of you got along.
I remember this day. It was really cold.
Remember that?
Yes, it was the coldest summer trip we ever had.
I remember those sailor outfits. It made me itch like crazy.
Olga looks at the picture now. She begins to tear up, but she tries to hide it.
Are you okay?
Yes. This picture, it feels like a lifetime ago.
I'm glad we found these. I haven't seen them in ages. I miss the standard. I miss all of those days.
There will be better days to come, I'm sure.
Why don't we add another to that collection?
What do you mean?
Anastasia continues talking while she shifts around and grabs a brownie box camera from offstage.
I was able to save my camera when we left Tobolsk. I've been hiding it since we got here. I haven't really taken any good photos, just ones of some plants, of Jimmy, and I sneak some of the guards every once in a while. But now seems as good a time as any to use it here on us. Here, everyone sit together.
Everyone starts to situate themselves and get closer together except for Nicholas.
Here, sheeps, get in there with them. I'll take it for you.
Thanks.
Everyone poses and Nicholas snaps the photo.
Here, now let me take one of the sisters. 1, 2, 3.
Nicholas snaps another photo, and this time we see the real one projected behind them.
Beautiful. This one shall hang in the Louvre.
The officer enters the room.
It's almost 9. Everyone head to your bedrooms.
All right, then. Good night, everyone. I love you.
Night.
Good night.
Love you too.
Good night, lieblings.
They all exit, and when they do, the officer turns to look towards where they left, and then he too exits. Blackout, end scene. Scene 12. In the girl's bedroom, the officer enters the room.
Get up, now.
Well, what's happening?
There's rioting happening outside. We're moving you to the basement until they subside. Get dressed. I'll be waiting in the hallway.
The girls stand from their beds and start to put skirts over their nightgowns, and suddenly Alexandra enters the room.
Girls, quick. Your medicine.
They hand out their jewel-encrusted corsets and start to put them on. Cut to the hallway outside the bedroom. Nicholas is holding Alexei. The
My
officer
boy.
well.
Please, he can't stand.
We'll get a chair for him once we're downstairs.
Alexandra and the girls enter the hallway where everyone else is.
Good. Follow me.
Anastasia bends down to pick up her dog, Jimmy.
Just leave the...
Please.
Fine. Everyone, follow me.
They all start to exit off stage. Anastasia, Olga, and Maria linger.
Olga, do you believe them?
Olga hesitates, but says nothing, and exits. Maria puts an arm around Anastasia.
Don't worry, Schweetz. We're all together, aren't we?
Anastasia and Maria exit after the others. We are now in the basement of the House of Special Purpose. The officer has put out chairs for Alexandra and Alexei. The girls stand behind them. There are several other officers as well. There is a moment of quiet while everyone settles in, and after a moment, everyone jumps when they hear a door slam and feet coming down the stairs, but they are relieved to see it is Yurovsky.
Schweetz, have you seen Ivan?
Anastasia shrugs.
Yurovsky, hello, thank goodness. Since we're down here, can you please tell us what is going on?
Yurovsky takes his time walking around smoking a cigarette. After a moment, he crushes it into the ground.
Tsar Nicholas II. Time is up. Your reign of terror over Russia is over. We are carrying out orders to put an end to the Romanov dynasty tonight.
Yurovsky and the men raise their guns, and then the stage becomes black. The girls have the final spotlights placed on them as they read their final lines.
It is difficult to write of anything cheerful because there is little cheerfulness here.
Father asked me to tell of those who have remained loyal to him and those whom they might have had an influence, that he prays for them all, that they should not seek revenge, that they should remember that the evil that is now in the world would become yet more powerful, and that it is not evil that will conquer, only love.
I like to believe that once my journey has ended, there will be light
God doesn't abandon us. The sun shines, birds sing, and this morning we heard bells sounding.
Many kisses from us all to you, my darling. Do not forget me. Goodbye.
And there is one single gunshot heard. End of play. Yay! Come on in, Sophia. Come on in. We can share a seat. Well, that's surreal. I can't believe it's done. Let's go to Facebook because I saw that specifically. I'm going to shout out Chloe.
Yes, Chloe.
So many questions.
Chloe is always goes for
Oh
it.
my god.
There's some that I specifically saw that were great. So here's a good one. How does each actor or character feel a personal connection to their character, or how did they feel disconnected? I like that one. If anyone has an idea.
We're all like,
it's a hard question.
On the spot, you actually.
I heard like part of the question because my computer kind of froze, so it's not like
Oh,
how
sorry.
does anyone. No, it's not you. It's the connection.
Can you repeat the question?
yeah, can you repeat the
I
question?
said, how does each actor and character feel a personal connection to them, and how do they feel disconnected?
I feel like for Maria, I think that she, even in like the darkest moments, like wants to find some kind of beauty and something to find joy in. And I think that's really beautiful. So that's, yeah.
I think like an opposite thing between Tatiana and myself is that Tatiana kind of lives in a realistic world. She knows what's going to happen. She doesn't, get excited over things or get her hopes up. That's completely opposite from me. So it's nice playing someone who is grounded.
There's another great. Chloe's just full of great questions.
We love Chloe.
Oh no, now they're disappearing.
Oh no.
Hold on.
What?
Let me
What?
see.
Criminal sister?
Find them, get them back. We need the
We had
questions.
one. How does it feel to do a historical piece like this in the current state that we are in right now?
God doesn't abandon us. The sun shines.
Well, I thought of something interesting as I was as I finished it and we started rehearsing it. I was like, it's kind of weird that we're doing this now and they're stuck in one place.
Yeah.
And we're in this moment right now where we can't go outside. And it's kind of very topical. I didn't even realize it until like we started doing it. And then I was reading it and I was like, this is what is happening right now. So it's very true to the times. Yeah, and I think it's, the great thing about theater is you can make something even 100 years ago relevant to today. And obviously it wasn't that hard to do because right now. But yeah, I think historical pieces are always great because like you can always learn from the past. It sounds, cheesy or whatever, but I think you can. History repeats itself, and
It's the journey to the past.
it's the journey to the past. We had to sneak that in there.
Had to.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Thinking of the last question, and I definitely relate to Anastasia in the way that she loves her dog Jimmy. I love them, so in that way I totally connect to her.
I've seen pictures of Jimmy, and he's the cutest little thing. He's like this big, and she picks him up in all the photos. It's so cute. I don't know, Victoria, if you're on your phone too, if you see any.
I'm not.
Chloe
but
had
I
at
can.
least one more that I thought was good. She had the one about the character you play.
I can read them if you want.
Oh yeah, do you have them?
I have them all here. Yep. Let's see. Well, she's complimenting a bunch of us, so this is good. There are questions. Good.
Most
Yes,
of
they're
you.
all very talented.
Thank you, Chloe.
Let's see. Do you support the view of your character written?
Brendan.
He's like,
How do we yeah. Well, that was another hard thing to write, is because like you want the audience. I'm now making this all like, I'm like, well, for me, but like
Well, you did write it, so
yeah, well, I wanted, you want your audience to like the characters, and it's obviously hard when, I mean, like I said, I wanted to write that one scene where Ivan is kind of the side that I was, where like, and people were at the time where, the rulers, the Tsar and the Tsarina may not have been great people. Children had nothing to do with this. Because when the war started, the youngest, Alexei, was like 9, and I think Olga was like in early teens. So it's not like
was to play with the marbles.
all I wanted was to play with the marbles. So I had to find a way to like make, no offense, Roman, but especially Nicholas, like, likable because he wasn't a great ruler, but I was able to find that in the documentaries that I watched that said how great, and this was very, not common of the time, as he was just a great family man and father, and he just loved his children unconditionally, and he did everything for them. And like that, the moment when he signed the petition was Bloody Sunday, which is what really made his public image go down. And he wasn't there in St. Petersburg to sign the petition because that day he was like on vacation with the family, because all he wanted to do was just do stuff with them. So I thought, maybe give him a scene of remorse and he'll kind of say that he did wrong things. So I'm not like just putting a veil over like, no, it was great. He was a great person and nothing was wrong and Russia was happy and no one was starving. It was great. But yeah, it was hard to.
No one ever starves in Russia.
Yeah. But how was it for you, Roman, to have to play this, again, make him likable, but also knowing the things that happened?
So I think the trick with playing any character, but especially a historic character, is you have to play the truth of what they're doing in the moment. And in the play, it is almost entirely focused on him being the father of these children and going through all of these steps that they're going through and kind of knowing what's coming, even if he says he doesn't believe that it's coming. I think he knows it's coming. And so that's the aspect that I was most thinking about and relating to while doing this reading. It wasn't about anything that happened to them before that point, because their lives did a complete 180. So, it's sort of like starting from a new spot at that point.
Yeah. And I could ask the same of Sharon for your
Yes, but of course I'm a very, very good person. Felicia. Felicia said, do you think you could do like a German or a Russian accent? I was like, I don't know. I've never done that before. I'm
You're
like,
better than I did.
I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And I really am so grateful to be part of this. My friend from New York, Sean, and he's done a lot of great stuff, said it was a very well written piece, but also just so honored to have such a great cast. I mean, one rehearsal, pretty awesome, everyone. 1-2 rehearsals, right? Tops. So pretty great.
Yeah.
Another question is, does anyone feel sadness or solace from the story they experienced?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like Felicia did such an amazing job humanizing these characters. I mean, of course, they were real humans, but like we were saying, the negative veil over Nicholas, I feel like every time we do this piece, so we've had a couple rehearsals, as we said, that it takes a toll on you. I mean, like, I know for me, it takes me at least like a half hour to kind of like get out of the mindset, because like this really happened. It's really real. This family was really executed. So I feel like it tolls on you, especially like such a dramatic piece.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I think this whole, like, at the ending reminded me of like the Diary of Anne Frank, where it was just like you're just so emotionally drained at the end, and it's like, we've gone over this like a few times, and it's still like it's like, oh my God, like you want it to be different. You want them to like all of a sudden, you know, somebody comes back and saves them and they get out. And I think it's just what's so sad is that like, at least like Nicholas and Alexandria got to live some sort of lives. The children barely got to live at all, you know, and they were just like, they had such like ideas in their mind of what their futures were going to be, like apart from living the like a royal life. And it's just like, it's just so sad that it's like, you know, at the time people felt like, oh, this is the way you can't just let them abdicate because they might come back with like an army and take back the throne. This is just the way people thought back then,
With
even now
hindsight
today.
now,
So.
you know, yeah, it's weird to, and that's something else I read was like, you know, when King George offered to let them in, and then as soon as he said that, like his advisors were like, you shouldn't have done that because if you let them in here, everyone in England will turn on you and hate you and they'll try to, you know, throw you off the throne. And then so he was like, okay, just kidding. But and then I read in that book in where I read that where the author was like, well, it's easy to say now 100 years later we have hindsight of like, well, nothing was going to happen to the British throne. And it's like, well, they didn't know that then. And like they didn't know then how powerful the Bolshevik army was. They didn't know, you know, that they could have done this and that and that. And, you know, like we said, like living in the moment, like you don't have any way to see the future and know what's going to happen. But yeah, we were saying it's such a dramatic piece. I tried to pop in some funny lines here and there, mainly like Anastasia and Alexei, because they're just some, you know, they're teens, early teens, and I figured and Anastasia, you know, was known as the funny one who was constantly. I read somewhere that she would trip people all the time, like when they were walking in the garden and just stuff. She just like put out her foot and trip them, and then Maria would have to be like, "I'm so sorry," and she'd have to apologize on behalf of her because she just constantly like was pulling faces. I can't tell you how many photos I found where there's one where she's wearing like fake teeth and like crossing her eyes, and it's just like it's crazy to see these black and white photos from 100 years ago where you see people so stiff and stuffy, and then you see these pictures of this 16-year-old just like pulling crazy faces. And so I thought that was pretty funny, and I was like, well, Anastasia needs to have her moments of comedy.
I saw that one too, and it's really nice to play both sides of the character because even just the last line, just now reading it, I was like tearing up, and I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine being 16 myself. What Anastasia felt that night. I mean, it's awful, you know. So I don't know. I loved it. Thank you, Felicia, for this.
Oh
Yes,
I love having all
Yeah,
of
thank you, Felicia.
Oh, this is like I said, this has just been like since last summer has it been an actual play. I think I'm pretty sure I remember being in the pool and like I constantly you know, I was probably reading all these books are pretty much about the Romanovs, I bet. And I was reading one at the time and I think I was like, you know, talking to one of my family members, maybe you, Sophia. And then I don't remember if someone told me I should make it a play or if it just kind of came to me and I was like, oh, because I was reading Olga's diary, I think. And I was like, this is so cool. Like she has so much to say about herself. And I was like, why hasn't this been made into like a movie? Like obviously they have the ones about Anastasia, like the animated one and the one from the 50s. And I was like, but why isn't there a movie, you know, like a mainstream? And there might have been one like Romanov film, but like from a long, long time ago. And I was like, why hasn't this been redone? Like this is so relevant and this could, you know, this would be great. And then I was like, well, I guess it's up to me.
Yes.
So I like went home and like wrote it down really quickly before I forgot. And I remember sending it to shout out, I think she's still watching, to my real Victoria, my real sister Victoria. But I sent it to her and I was like, is this any good? And she was like, yes. And she's actually, I have to give her credit. She's the one who gave me the idea for the opening scene. I had written the scene where they're like reading. And I was like, but I don't know how to end it. Like, I don't want it to be boring and like just have it end and go into the next scene. She's like, I don't know, have something like really crazy happen. She's like, it's World War I, have like a gun go off outside. And like, you know, they jolt, you know, like something happened. And I was like, well, there was a time when the guard shot at Anastasia because she opened the window. And Victoria was like, put that in. And then I put it in and the rest is history. So thank you, Victoria. Thank you for that. Is there one more maybe? I don't know. Or if anyone else has any.
There's another question here. It's how you appreciate, weird grammar, but how you appreciate performing such role. I think she means how do you appreciate performing such a role as the ones that you have. And I'm going to answer really quickly. I love performing the kind of role where I can come in, stir up stuff a bunch, leave, and then come back way later. And I love doing that. I love being the tiny little side characters. When I read this, that was the character. I'm like, that's the guy I connect with, even though he's terrible, but that's the guy I connect with. So I really, really love the opportunity to play characters like that. So thank you, Felicia,
you
for
just
that.
come in, you do a few things, you
But
come
it's never-
out.
You make some noise, you stir the pot, and then you leave.
The best roles. Literally, that's the best.
I don't know. I love playing characters that are honestly like Ivan. That just felt like me maybe 6 or 5 years ago. Like very nervous, very much like, hey, how you doing? Beautiful. Bye. Like, and it was like that was stupid.
I think that's all of us at some point.
Yeah, I know. But it's just he's just I don't know. He's just so endearing and he's so heartfelt and genuine, and you could tell like. Yeah, I don't know. Like I always had this idea that you know when if he joined up with like the Bolsheviks that he was just it was like I'm just gonna put my own little stamp of goodness in this and try to make the best out of really bad situation. And I think that's the part with him that I connected the most is that there's always like bright spots in everything that's like terrible in the world and going on, and it's that kind of optimism I think that we should hold on to that allows us to keep going in tough times, especially now.
And I know for characters.
Bless you.
I remember writing
Tatiana.
I remember writing the officer, and I was like, I don't, writing it, I tried to just let the characters come, and I was like trying to, as it, was starting to get finished, I was like, who am I going to have play these roles? And for the officer, I was like, I don't know why, I'm thinking of Brendan. And then I remembered, I was like, why does this feel right? And then I remembered, I was like, oh, he basically played this part when he was Fiedka in Fiddler. And I was like, that feels right. I was like, I can hear him doing this. He can be like in a Russian authoritative figure. And then I was like, oh right, we did Fiddler on the Roof back in 2012 or whatever, and he pretty much played that role. 2012. Okay. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, I pretty much felt like that for everyone. I was like, I gotta know someone. And obviously we had just done Little Women. I was like, they already played Fiddlers once, let's do it again.
Little Women? What's that?
And I knew Roman could play a dad. He played my dad, Daddy Warbucks. Yeah, so it was easy to write for you all. You made it so much fun, and I had fun presenting this. And I'm glad everyone at home watched. And
Yay!
Yes, audience for everyone.
I'm glad we were able to bring theater back for a little bit. Yeah. Let it live on, as it will come back. I know. Obviously,
not soon enough.
It needs to be done on a real stage as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Please, it has to be on stage.
Yeah, because doing it tonight, especially hearing it, like doing the stage directions, I could just see it, and I was like, this needs
maybe in a barn.
I know a place like that. Wait a minute.
Barn, in a park, in a tree house. Yeah, I was hearing it. I was like, this needs for the full potential. I was already having ideas in my head. I was like, and then he can give her a look, and they can look at each other and then turn away. I was like, it'll be really intense. Yeah. Well, a special shout out to Chloe for all of your great questions.
Yeah,
Chloe. They really get us thinking every time. Again, thank you to everyone watching. I'm so glad you were the first group to see End at the Hour. And thank you all very much. Yay.
Thank you.
Good night.